People who regularly witnessed arguments growing up often display these 8 behaviors as adults. Our childhood experiences greatly shape who we become as adults. Witnessing arguments regularly during our formative years can have a particularly profound impact. These experiences often imprint certain behaviors on us, responses we've developed over time as coping mechanisms or defense strategies. In this article, I'm going to highlight 8 behaviors that are often displayed by adults who regularly witnessed arguments growing up. This isn't about labeling or stigmatizing, but about understanding and empathy. Let's dive in. 1. Heightened sensitivity to conflict. Growing up around regular arguments can make a person highly attuned to conflict. This heightened sensitivity can often be seen in adults who witness frequent arguments during their childhood. It's as if they have developed an internal radar for spotting tension or disagreement, even in its subtlest forms. This sensitivity stems from the instinctive need to anticipate and avoid conflict, a survival strategy learned early on. Understanding this behavior can help foster empathy and patience, especially when interacting with someone who might seem overly sensitive or anxious. 2. Difficulty in expressing emotions. I've noticed in myself and others who grew up around frequent arguments a certain difficulty in expressing emotions. It seems paradoxical. We were surrounded by raw and powerful emotions, yet we struggle to articulate our own feelings. It's like growing up in a house on fire and then not knowing how to handle matches. You've seen the destructive power of uncontrolled emotions, so you shy away from them. You keep them bottled up, worried about the potential fallout if you let them out. For example, when I'm upset or angry, I tend to go quiet instead of speaking up. I avoid confrontations at all costs, sometimes at the expense of my own well-being. It's a hangover from those childhood days when any display of strong emotion could trigger an argument. Understanding this pattern is essential for personal growth and for building healthier relationships. It's about learning that it's okay to express our feelings, even if they're negative, and that doing so doesn't have to lead to conflict or destruction. Children who grow up in conflict-ridden homes often become the peacemakers in their adult relationships. They're the ones who are always trying to smooth over disagreements, keep the peace, and avoid any form of confrontation. This behavior goes beyond just being a nice person. It's rooted in a deep-seated fear of conflict and a desire to prevent the kind of arguments they experienced as children. Children who witnessed parental conflict were more likely to mediate disagreements in their own relationships later in life. This tendency towards peacemaking can be seen as a way of regaining control over a situation that once left them feeling helpless and scared. 4. Preference for solitude. Frequent exposure to arguments during childhood can often lead to a preference for solitude in adulthood. It's not necessarily about being introverted or antisocial. Rather, it's about seeking a peaceful, argument-free environment, which they often find in their own company. These individuals might avoid large social gatherings or prefer one-on-one interactions over group settings. They find comfort and tranquility in their solitude, a stark contrast to the chaotic environment they grew up in. Understanding this behavior can help us respect their need for space and solitude, and not mistake it for aloofness or unfriendliness. It's simply their way of creating a safe and peaceful environment for themselves. 5. Craving stability in relationships. When your childhood is marked by constant arguments, stability becomes something you deeply crave in your adult relationships. You yearn for a sense of peace and predictability that was absent in your early years. You may find yourself drawn to people who are calm, consistent, and reliable, those who offer a safe harbor amidst the storm. It's not about seeking perfection, but about finding someone who offers the reassurance that disagreements won't necessarily lead to chaos or destruction. This deep-seated desire for stability is a poignant reminder of the impact our childhood experiences can have on our adult lives. It underlines the importance of cultivating healthy relationships, ones that provide the sense of security and peace we all deserve. 6. Overthinking and second-guessing. Growing up amidst constant arguments can often lead to a pattern of overthinking and second-guessing in adulthood. You become so accustomed to anticipating arguments or trying to prevent them that it starts to seep into your other decision-making processes. I found myself falling into this pattern more often than I'd like to admit. I'll spend hours agonizing over a decision, trying to predict every possible outcome and how others might react. This isn't just about being thorough or thoughtful. It's a learned response from a childhood filled with unpredictability, where every decision could potentially spark an argument. Breaking this cycle requires conscious effort and a lot of self-compassion. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth the work. 7. Highly empathetic. Experiencing frequent arguments during childhood can often result in a heightened sense of empathy. Having been immersed in intense emotional situations, these individuals often become highly attuned to the feelings and needs of others. They are often the ones who can easily pick up on subtle cues of discomfort or tension in others. They're quick to offer a comforting word, a listening ear, or a helping hand, driven by their deep understanding of emotional distress. While this heightened empathy is indeed a gift, it's important for them to also look after their own emotional needs and not get overwhelmed by those of others. Balance, as always, is key. 8. Resilience and strength. Perhaps the most important thing to understand is that individuals who experienced regular arguments during their childhood often develop an incredible resilience and strength. They've weathered storms many haven't, and they've come out on the other side stronger. They are often the ones who can handle crisis situations with grace, who can navigate tough times with determination, and who can find hope in the most challenging circumstances. Their past may have been tumultuous, but it has also forged them into resilient individuals. Recognizing this resilience and strength is crucial. It's a testament to their journey and a reminder of their incredible capacity to overcome adversity.